Let's chat.
Know a lot of folks in and around the area made their way to the River Park this past weekend, and if you didn't get a chance to do that, you got several weekends to make up for it. Joining us now to talk about that from Friends of the Festival, it is Dixie, Jim, Joe, Bob, Robert, Hoss, Lee, Fuller, Esquire. Morning,
How
Dixie.
many names? Hey, buddy, how you doing, Chip?
I'm doing very well, sir. How are things over in Dixieland?
That's great, man. This is really different. Usually I'm able to really rib you when we're live and close to. We'll have to catch up later.
You might as well go ahead and rib away, Dixie. We don't want to let a tradition fall by the wayside.
How you been doing? You okay, buddy?
Doing very well, sir, and I hope you and the staff at Friends of the Festival are as well.
Yeah.
6 free concerts. Concert number 1 in the books, and this has been kind of rebranded as Chattanooga Unite, which personally I think is a great idea. How did this whole thing come to pass?
Well, when we realized that we couldn't do Riverbend, Mickey McCamish, our interim executive director, came up with this really unique idea to kind of rebrand our Riverfront nights. And the fact that we moved up to River Park, which is really cool because it's the first time that anybody's really done anything like this there. And of course, the first time that alcohol has ever been served in a county park like that. And so we managed to get a lot of things done in a real short amount of time. But it was great. We started off Saturday night, Chip, with our first one. We got one under our belt, and we've got we painted circles with grass paint in this field. And so everybody's staying, socially distanced. And it just was great, man. The weather couldn't have been nicer. The music was fabulous. So, Mickey said, when we did the Chattanooga Unite to celebrate, the passing and we wanted to honor the 5 guys that lost their lives up at the Naval Center here in Chattanooga back in 2015. So we came up with this. He came up with this idea and got a lot of momentum going. And man, we all just fell in. So that's why we renamed it. And we're at River Park instead of the Riverfront. And it's just wonderful. It really is.
And let me ask you a couple of things, Dixie. Right off the bat, I know you with the practiced eye you've got in doing events like this. Would you have done anything differently on that first concert this past Saturday?
I don't think I would have, Chip. Well, so what we normally do, what we normally do on that first night is we do a military celebration where we pay tribute to all the military branches and, national anthem. It was just wonderful. And no, I don't think we would have done anything different.
How was the crowd at social distancing? I know you said you painted circles in the grass. Were they respective of those boundaries? How was the mask situation?
Yes, they were. And everybody, once they got in their little areas, with their families in those circles, of course, we're outdoors. Of course, you can loosen your mask up at that point. But it seemed like everybody, when they got up and either went and got food, went to the bathroom, went to get a beer, everybody was wearing a mask. And everybody on the stage crew was wearing a mask, and it was they were being very, very mindful of other people's privacy, and so nobody really ventured into any other areas. And one thing I really did like was the fact that the kids' playground, and we maintained that real well. We had some volunteers over there keeping it wiped down, but the kids were playing. It's dog friendly, so people could bring their animals. And yes, everybody respected social distancing. And that's the only way that we could do this, because we want to make sure that everybody understands this is a very safe environment. It's a fun environment. The Hamilton County, that park, River Park, and their maintenance staff up there, and Mayor Coppinger and everybody they're really, really supportive of this event. And this is the first live outdoor event that Chattanooga's held since this darn thing, started off. And so we knew we had to do it right.
And we have this coming up for the next 5 weekends, correct?
Yes, we do. We're running from all the way through the 22nd of August. We're taking August 1st off. And that was where J-Fest was going to go, but J-Fest has since, of course, canceled. And so we're still going to take that weekend off. I'm getting older now. And after 3, I'm going to take a weekend off. And we know what we do on our time off.
Certainly do. Who is next on the musical horizon? Who's going to be the guest coming up this Saturday?
Really, really cool lineup for this Saturday night. July 18th, we got Cody Harris and Radio Romance. And Radio Romance is a band out of Nashville that won the Nash Icon competition 2 years ago. I mean,
Right.
they won it all. They went to the national and won it all. And then the next weekend, we got Rare Coalition. What we try to do is focus on local artists and local bands, because we're trying to develop it as a kind of a healing process for Chattanooga, as a local entity. And so I'm using a whole lot of local entertainment. But that weekend we got the 25th, we got Rare Coalition and the New Breed Show Band. Excuse me. Then we're going to take the first day of August off. And then we go back to August the 8th with Behold the Brave and Maria Jordania and No Pressure, local and good. And then on the next weekend will be Tim Lewis, Hatcher Phillips, and of course the Wild Man, Jason D. Williams.
Wow.
Been
a while since Jason D's been in town.
It has been. And, everybody thinks he's Jerry Lee Lewis's son. I think it's quite possible. He's crazy.
Can't prove it otherwise.
I think he'll end up in the river before it's all over with.
It's
and then on closing,
anything that Dixie and the Friends of the Festival put together runs like a well-oiled machine, Dixie. All kidding aside, you've got the experience under your belt, and in doing an event like just kicked off this past weekend, it certainly shows.
Yeah, man, we really enjoy what we do, and we're darn good at it. And Chattanooga, please understand, it's safe. We're watching after it. Everybody's masking up. If you don't have one, we've got one for you there. We got free masks. We got hand sanitizing stations. The beer is good and cold. The food's incredible. I got food trucks, all varieties of food.
All right, Dixie, I got to cut you off, my friend. As always,
Thanks,
when you and I
Chip.
get together, we're up against the clock. But thank you for everything you do for the community, and give our best to the Friends of the Festival staff.
I will, buddy.
And
Love you, buddy.
Dixie
Thank
Fuller
you.
will not be changing his name. Stick around.
No, sir.
We got
He's gonna
more
keep
coming
it.
up right after this.